Hey, good morning. Good morning. Week 5. So that's great. Yeah, anytime you guys are all ready, we can start. Until then, if you have any questions, that you want to ask me or ask each other, feel free to do so. And what time is it now? Yeah, it's 8:02. All right, why don't we start at 8:05, maybe 8:10 even. Where's Karthik? Hey, Karthik, are you better today? Hey, switch on your cameras, everybody. Not only Muhammad is the only one who switched his camera on. Okay. Karthik, you better? Well, at least you're not wearing a blanket. All right, okay.
Yeah, a thousand times better.
Okay, great. Yeah. Excellent. Oh, wonderful. I'm glad to see you all. Someone sent me a text message. Please don't send me a text message because it's harder to read. Yu Yang, work meeting camera back in 30. Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right. Oh, that's why you couldn't also speak, I guess. Okay. All right. How about, and Matt, thank you for posting your version of the game on the Reddit. Cool. In fact, we'll try and do something today. I don't know if it's going to work, but we can certainly give it a shot, okay? Yeah, all right. Well, I don't know. Let's let the idea brew for a little while. And hopefully by the time we get around to implementing it, it may be better. Okay, any questions at all for me? Any questions? I think we're pretty sure we'll have a class on Tuesday where you can ask me questions about the midterm. Actually, you know what? We can even have a class on Thursday. Thursday is the day of the midterm. Yeah, Thursday is the day of the midterm. I think this is week 5, isn't it? This is week 5 of week 6. Yeah, right. So next week, Thursday is the day of the midterm. Now, the midterm focuses almost entirely on the modules written by Michael Losef. Okay, which are basically a distillation of the text, the text that you have. So imagine how it would be if your midterm is the first 300 pages of the text. Okay, really, that's what it is, the first 300 pages of the text. And I remember back in my own school days, I used to be overestimating my own abilities. I used to think that, well, it's hard for everybody, it'll be easy for me, so I don't have to work in class. I'll just open the textbook like a week before the midterm and read it all, the exam. And 300 pages. Sometimes in engineering anyway, some of the books that you have to digest before the exams are like 500 pages and 600 pages. How could you possibly get through these things? Yes, it's not possible in 5 days or 6 days. So what professors have done in the past, that's where Michael Losef's modules are so useful, is because well, students can't do this, so why don't we make it easier for them? This is what they've done. Okay, professors have taken a lot of time, and Michael actually told me, right? Michael told me that the modules that he created went through several iterations and several quarters of work, right? Focused work on just trying to find out the topics in the text that would be useful for students. So he spent a lot of time distilling out the specific topics from the text, the 300 pages of the text. He pulled out the specific topics that would be instructive and useful to students, and that's why he stuck in the modules. Now, our quests are based on a selection of the algorithms discussed in the modules. So if we think that the quests are what CS2A is, well, most people will just end up failing CS2A, yes, because the quests are meant to give you an idea of whether what you learned from the modules actually stuck in a good way. Yes, because there's a lot of stuff that we discuss in the modules that and we cherry pick the topics from the modules and make quests out of them. And so that's why it's not enough to just focus on the assignments for the midterm. You got to read the modules. And I think all the modules up to week 6, we talked about it last class also, week 6. And we'll have a class next Thursday. We'll have a class next Thursday before the midterm. The midterm can be taken anytime. I think from 6 a.m. I don't know. Maybe it's 6 a.m. Or maybe I opened it from midnight to midnight too. But it doesn't really matter. Okay. Midterm can be taken anytime before the end of the day, midnight. So you don't have to take it first thing in the day. So as Thursday morning, let's have a class as usual. Okay. And in the past, I used to cancel classes on Thursday because I don't know, it was general practice. I think everybody did that at most people I knew did that at Foothill. And so I said, we should give the day off, the midterm day off for students, no classes. But then I realized that, the whole point of having that day off from Foothill's perspective, right? From Foothill's perspective is so that students are not given new material to learn on the day of the midterm. And so they have to learn as well as study. The past material is hard. So it was out of consideration that was done. So I figured that, that means we don't have to have a day off for classes. So we'll have a class next Thursday. We won't cover new material. That's all. Okay, we'll just go over all of the existing material. And then what you can do is also go over any of the topics in the first 6 modules. Michael's modules, right? Any of the topics in the modules and say, hey, I don't understand that. Can we go over that one more time? Right. And obviously, if lots of people have, I don't know, right? Then we'll cherry pick and say, well, let's say Jay's topic, because when we address Jay's question, it automatically answers, a whole lot of other people's questions too, right? So maybe because it's a subset of Jay asked a question, which is a superset of, let's say, Namrata, Elijah, Charlene, all of them, and then Jay's question automatically answers all those. We'll cherry pick these things and do these, but we won't cover any new topics on next week. But we will cover a new topic on Tuesday. This is start to program with objects and all. However, objects, even though we're starting to work with objects on Tuesday, objects are not included in the midterm. Okay, until week 5. All topics until week 5. Arrays are included. Okay, arrays may be included. I think I stuck a couple of questions in the question, a couple of questions maybe. No, maybe more. I don't know. Right, but the odds of getting an array-based question in the exam is comparatively lower than knowing about I++, I minus precedence rules. What is a string? What is a single character? Yeah, can you add characters together? Can you add strings together? All of those things, diving in, not just saying, well, if I add 2 strings together, I get a concatenation. That is no good, okay? Because the exam will probe into the concept, saying, why can you add 2 strings together? And why can you not add 2 characters together and get a string? Because if you add the ASCII character A and the ASCII character, let's say 0, right? You don't get A0. You get 65 plus, I don't know, what is 0, 48, 108. And 108 may be some ASCII character, curly brace or something like that. Who knows, right? If you add characters together, you get a number. But if you add strings together, you get another string. So why does that happen? Now, for programming and working on the quests, it doesn't really matter why it happens. Yes, because you just need to know that what happens and then you can use it. So it's a higher level application. But the exams are not going to probe the higher level application there. It'll probe the lower level application or lower level knowledge. Why does it work there? Why doesn't it work for characters? Why, right? And things like that. So you have to know these details. Also, data, well, actually, let's say data representation, very low chance that you'll get a question on data representation, but you still may get a question on data representation. However, the questions will not be directly data representation related, but they will be more like, what is the problem with the for loop? Why does the for loop not terminate? Okay, and it may be that the answer to that question is it doesn't terminate because you're using unsigned and signed in conflicting situations, or something like that. Okay, and so in order to be able to answer that, you need to know what unsigned and signed are and how they, what happens when you decrement an unsigned quantity below 0. Does it become -1? Yeah, and those answers you won't know until you master data representation. So data representation is directly not on the cards for your midterm, but knowing that is important to pass some of the questions in the midterm, I think. Right? And Michael had questions related to style of programming, and there were not a huge number, but there were a fair number of these questions related to style, meaning that statements have to be indented, variables have to be named a particular way, and things like that. I, as you know, don't grade on style at all. Okay, you can program in any style, because as you know, even when we're coding in class, when I say, well, space and then a brace, and then I go to the next line and so on, this is my style. I don't care if you do a different style, as long as it's all consistent and looks clean. And so the style is largely a matter of developing a good style. It's largely a matter of how successful you will be as a programmer later on. That's all it is. Okay, so knowing the concepts is obviously important to being a good programmer, but knowing the concepts and having a bad style just makes makes it harder for you to pick up new concepts later on. That's all. Okay, which means that there's a chance, the chances of you becoming a star programmer, rock star programmer later on, lower if you have a bad programming style. And that is the reason why we encourage programming style. So no, I won't test you on programming style in the midterm. And if you do get questions, I took some time to weed out all of Michael's questions that related to style, okay? Because he was testing students on style. And other instructors also are testing, I know, right? Because some of you also say, I did my 2A, well, not in 2B and 2C. Some students say, well, you know what, I did my 2A and my professor said, you got to program like this with curly braces here, indentation and so on. Am I going to get less points for that? No, obviously not, right? In 2B and 2C. I actually don't care at all what the style of your program is, as long as it works. However, we just have to keep in mind that bad style will make it harder for you to pass later requests, because I'm pretty sure in CS2C, when people get to CS2C, if they have bad programming style, I think it is practically close to impossible to make it past quest number 2 in CS2C. Red quest 2, when you get to quest 3 and all, your programming style has to be really, really solid. Doesn't matter if it's Michael's style or my style or any style you pick off the net, right? And Google and Microsoft, they have their own styles too, right? I think if you join those companies, Facebook, they'll say, here is a style manual. If you're coding in a group project, follow the style manual. And different groups have different styles too. And then the company may have an overarching style. Those are things that you have to follow in order to work in a group. But finding a style of your own doesn't matter if it is a style of the company you're going to work for. Any style at all, and sticking to that helps build practice, in my opinion, for also coding with style, not just technical correctness, but also style, any style, so that it'll be easier for you when you join a company and say, this is our style manual. It'll be easier for you to make a switch, because you'll automatically imbibe that, the way of doing things. Using your style, and then you can switch to another style. You can go to another group, perform, code in their style, come back here, and then style will cease to exist in your mind as a conscious artifact. It is really an artifact, right? So the style will cease to exist in your mind. You'll just see the code, but the style is just there to ease the passage of code into your head. That's all. That is the main function of style. So if you do see questions, those are loaded with points of style, then you're lucky, right? Because all you have to do then is just let me know, right? Hey, I got a style-based question, and then you just get a free point out of that. Right? I say, all right, I'll reinstate that point in the midterm. You get a free point. Well, you won't get any questions, but if you do, you can let me know. All right. Any other questions that you guys have? You can also talk to each other if you like. And then I hope, Karthik, you're going to code today later. Yeah. And then we'll put, and Karthik will, who coded last class? Matt, where's Matt? Matt, yeah. And you shared the link too. Yeah, I saw you shared. No, did you share the link to the original code, Matt, or original? So yeah, so Karthik can pick up that. Both. Yeah. Well, I saw Erica was nodding her head. So so when not right now, when you guys are done talking, and Karthik can pick up that link and then fork the code, and then we'll try and review the code to see what we did, because I forgot, and then we'll see what more we can do. So, what else are there any topics that we need to cover? About? I think we were what were we talking about last class? Functions. Yeah, we're talking about functions. Yeah, so we'll do functions in class today. And essentially, I think we wrote a couple of functions last class. We'll just write more functions, and also more ways of calling functions, parameters. And I promise I'll talk about what happens in the background, right? When you call a function, what happens in the background? And that's really important to know. So I'll cover that too. So feel free to talk. How about 2 or 3 minutes? Talk amongst yourself. And then we can start, okay? And then Karthik will be ready to pick up the code that Matt shared, and then we can start coding, like every class. And,
real quick, which link did you want me to access for the code?
So I think on Reddit, Matt posted a link that said 2/7/2023 or something like that. Class code. And I saw the date on the post, so maybe a different format, but if you look in the Reddit, you'll see a link from a post by Matt. No? Did you see it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. I think your microphone is cutting out. I don't know, because I saw your mouth move, but there was no sound coming out. I don't know if the other people had the audio come through. Maybe it's just my tech here, but if it happens again, we'll catch it. Okay. Any other questions you guys want to talk to each other? Go ahead. Okay. Ask questions, and maybe some questions from me will bubble up when you guys talk. Okay, and you say, hey, maybe let's say Mohammed says to Mingwa, hey, Mingwa, you know, did you get past that thing? And then and Mingwa says, no, actually I don't know. Let's ask the professor. Right? That's fine too. No questions for me, right? So 2 minutes for you guys to talk amongst yourself. So don't wait for me to talk, just talk amongst yourself, talk about anything at all. So here, I've made this point a million times in all of my previous classes, not here for you, a million times. It is important to just talk about anything at all, because if it is silence, everybody will feel anxious about breaking the silence, okay? Because when you break silence, even a conversation, even if you're in a party, right? Even if you're in a party and a group of people talking, standing there, not talking at all, and then you join them, it's harder to start talking by breaking, a silence, because you don't know if they're silent for a reason. However, if they're already talking, you can already, when you get in, right? Well, they're talking about general stuff, right? General small talk, which means it's safe to break in, right? So we have these cues, social cues, and say, well, if it's small talk, we know. Also, our mind, our neural network in our mind is primed, because we know when the pauses for interjection appear at random in small talk. Yes, because we can look at listen to what people are talking about, and then we already have our mental model kicks in and say, well, you know what, there's going to be a gap in about 25 seconds from now, 10 seconds from now. All that kicks in, so we're already primed with questions in our head, are formed already. We know what to talk about, right? And so when that gap comes, we just come in like that. However, if there's silence, people don't talk. And so that is the reason that, you gotta keep talking. When you're talking, you actually give people a lead. Like, the Erica put in that game, 3 seconds of a gap before you start. Here's your number one, your minimum. You got 5 seconds. That's 2 seconds gone. Just, reading the warning there. Okay. So, and it never helps, anxiety and builds stress. Questing too, right? If you think that you only have 2 days to complete this quest, it's very unlikely you're going to complete that. No, not so much in 2A, 2B, and 2C, right? However, if you forget that you have 2 days and you say, I don't know, I'm just going to work on this quest, you may find you're done in 1 day, right? So the fact that you have a finite amount of time ahead of you is unnerving for a lot of people, which means that when you say, I only have so much time, you probably make a decision saying, well, you know what, I need to get in and ask this question, but I can't do this in the next 2 seconds, right? So I'll wait until the next break. And so if you only have a finite time, people always say, I'll put it off until later. However, just make your mind believe that there is no finite time, right? Even though there's a finite time ahead, just believe that you're immortal, right? You're not like immortal, right? This is a finite time. Then you say, that is why it is important to have conversation going, because conversation gives your mind that time, the 3 second sleep that Erica put in. Conversation gives it to you, because right, that thread that people are talking about is going to end in 25 seconds, or so you have some mental ballpark figure that'll figure out, right? Because if you're talking about the rain, it's going to end in like 10 seconds. If you're talking about the war, maybe 25 seconds, I don't know, right? So things like that. So you already have that, and so that is why your mind is primed to get in. That is the reason why people don't get in, because their mind is not primed at the time they want to get in. Right, that's all. So keep the conversation going, not just in our class. Okay, that is the general thing. That is why it's always helpful to pick up a lot of trivia. Now, trivia is not useful in general, but trivia is useful because when you're in a group, you can talk about trivia, because it makes it easier for other people to join. And the reason they join is because when people are talking about trivia, they can easily make their mental estimates of when they'll get gaps to barge in. That's all. Okay, I think that is my theory. Okay, again, I have no idea. You guys, if you're doing psychology, you can probably do experiments. This kind of hypothesis really lends itself to empirical testing. Yes, because you can actually do experiments and find out, hey, that's what's actually going on. So you can make a hypothesis saying that's why people are reluctant to barge in talking. Here's a psychology experiment. Hey, by the way, talking about psychology experiments, our psychology students right now, Ben Stefanik's psychology student. I mentioned this last class, didn't I? Yeah, Ben is running a ChatGPT survey. Yeah, so please look for the link. I'm not sending the link. Maybe I can send you the link. If you email me, I'll send you the link because he sent it to me. But it's out there. You'll probably get it from other professors. You can also go to the Foothill site and search for, survey by psychology department, ChatGPT, and it'll tell you. And do that. I think it'll help many of the professors in the college. Anything else? Okay, all right. Well, nobody wants to talk. I'm the only one keeping the airwaves occupied. And the danger is when I talk, your model for figuring out when the pause is going to come is all gone haywire because I never get most of the time. I just keep blabbering on and on. I never give you a gap at all. So the trick is to grab it anytime you get a gap and then keep talking because you guys are really nice and social and give gaps and let other people get in. So don't let me talk. I think you guys should be doing most of the talking, unless we're coding. Okay, for coding, I can look at the code and say, hey, this is what we need to do and so on. All right. So anyway, if you don't have any questions for me, whenever Karthik is ready, just grab the screen, make sure it's an incognito browser, and then share the browser screen, and then what we'll do is we'll review the code. We'll review the code from Tuesday one more time, just to make sure we know exactly what's going on. So we had a main, and then we wrote a function. Yeah, one-dimensional screen. So we printed something, and then we had the star move. Yeah, okay, all right. Oh, your guest was and all? We had a guest and all? Was this a game? Well, we had a game. Okay, all right, let's go from. Can you go to the main? Actually, can you go to the main altogether? Right to the bottom. Oh, it's only 50 lines of code together. No, how many lines?
This was my version, version. It's not the original.
Oh, this is not the original.
Original is on
okay.
Reddit too, though.
Yeah, the
Does anyone
original.
have your...
The original is on Reddit. It's the previous post.
Okay. All right. Yang, your web meeting is done. Is over now.
Do you guys see it? It's 1 day ago.
Oh, my mic's not working.
Yeah, so it was. I wasn't hallucinating there. Okay, so it is your mic cutting out. Is it what is it? It's not a computer mic. It is a separate mic that you got.
Oh no, it is a computer mic. It's just not my computer, so I have no idea how to fix the problem.
Yeah. Oh, no. Even then, if it's an internal mic, internal mics are usually hardy. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Okay. Is this a PC or a Mac, by the way?
No, it's a PC.
Oh, it's a PC.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a PC. Okay. Anyway, print 1D screen. Okay, we know what that does. Clear 1D. Okay. Can you scroll down? Let's look at the main. Yeah, there you go. That's what I remember. Okay. Yeah, we only wrote like 50 lines or something. And okay. So what do? We print a blank line and then. Okay. Can we run it once just to see what happens, and then we can take it from there. Oh, it's a dash. Is it a dash or maybe?
Oh yeah, because we did that at the end when we were doing the local variables and global, like the default versus not.
Oh, I see. You actually did supply something. Oh, it was a dash. I don't remember doing that. Did we do that?
Yeah, we did that because
wow. Okay.
You were teaching us about the default parameters.
I see. Wow. Okay. I totally missed. I remember teaching the default parameter thing, but great. Excellent. Yeah. Okay. Since we got to this stage, I think we can do. Tell me if you guys are okay with it. Okay. So I think. All right. Okay. I think we can do a game. Okay. I think we can do a game. How about this? All right, okay. How about I'll describe the game, and then you guys can tell me two things. Okay, you can tell me whether the idea is too difficult to do in this class, which is fine. Okay, because I have no idea, right? So you should tell me, one, and two, or if it's too easy. One more thing. Okay. I think it's just too easier to do difficult. I don't know. I forgot the third thing. Okay, so let's. So here's what I'm thinking in my mind. So let's do a two-player game. It's going to be a game, two-player game, and then we're going to measure the speed of the first player and the second player. They won't know what the speeds are, but we'll measure them. And I think the way we'll measure these speeds is we'll write a function that says measure the speed of this player. Okay, and all this function has to do is to print a prompt saying, hey, player one. We'll just call him player one and player two. Player one, type the A key and the L key, two far away from each other, right? A key and L key alternately as fast as you can. Okay, as fast as you can. Let's say we do the entire line, right? So 80 times, 100 times, or whatever it is. So do that repeatedly. And what we'll do is we can do a couple of things. That function can do a couple of things. It can take that string that they have to type AL, and then hit enter. Okay. Now we can time it. We can say the timestamp as soon as a prompt is printed, and we tell them go, right? Get the timestamp there. And then after they type it in and hit enter, we take the time again. So we have the total time taken by the user to type in an entire line of alternating ALs. Yeah. Now we also have the length of the line. So they typed in, I don't know, 50 pairs, or 50, let's say 80 characters. Okay, they typed in 80 characters in, let's say, 2 seconds. So now we have an estimate of their speed. So, right, so some number, we'll figure out some way, right? So that is their estimate. So we can get the estimates of the speed of typing of 2 different players like that. Player 1, go, player 2, right? Now, after that, the race actually begins. And the race is going to essentially just be that one line, right? One dimensional vector, which we already got the function to do. And the 2 players are going to be, A and B, or, less than and greater than, or whatever it is. Player 1 greater than, and then less than 2, right? And there are the 2 players. And what's going to happen is that at the end of each clock tick, right? End of each iteration, at the end of each iteration in that loop, which is going to move these players together, all you're going to do is calculate the new position of this player according to their speed, calculate the new position of this player according to their speed, put them in, clear the thing and put them there and draw again, right? And then loop. I'm going to sleep 1 second and loop, right? So we'll actually have the 2 players. We will see the 2 players go towards the middle point. We can put a vertical bar or something, or put a star in the middle, saying the first player to reach a star is the winner. Now, the way we calculate how much each player moves forward will be determined by their speed that we said, we calculated before. Let's say we come up with this, for now, fictitious numbers. The speed of the first player, let's say, is 0.6. Some number. Well, I don't know whether it's going to be 0.6, and the speed of the second player is 1.1. Okay, so I think what we can do is at the end of each iteration, we can add that value to the player's current position. And if after adding that player, after adding and then truncating, right? So that player may be at position number 1.6, which means that first column, still at first column, right? 0, 1, or second column, right? So 1.6 plus 0.6 takes them to 2.2. So 2.2 truncated is now 2. So they would have advanced to the second position, right? And likewise over there. So but that person could be having a speed of 1.2. That means, so they could be advancing faster. And so we'll actually see which person gets to the star first. And then when one of them hits a star, we can say that person is the winner. Now, we can do a couple of cool things here, because, some people, they could just do these things and get fast. So we can, when the function that measures the speed of the player, we can make it slightly more complex. And that'll also give you a lot of scope for your own creativity after class. You can say, oh, I'm going to take it and modify it. So we'll introduce a constraint saying, well, when you do AL, if you accidentally type two L's at we can say, well, that basically is going to come for a penalty. The total speed calculation is going to be reduced because of a repeated letter, right? And so on and so forth. You can introduce these additional constraints in the speed measuring thing so that people can do this, but at the same time they also have to exercise care in doing that, because if they are not careful, even though they get a long line really, really fast, it could actually end up being slow because of lots of botches of botch ups in there. Well, we'll get a better handle on this when we're coding, right? But that's what I'm thinking. It's actually I think it is easy to code within one class. We'll probably get it done. Famous last words. We'll probably get it done before the midpoint of this class, but maybe not, right? Maybe I'm certain we'll be able to play this game today. Okay. I think, I don't know. We'll see. Right. So does that sound like a reasonable thing to attempt today? I don't know if we're going to, first of all, I don't know if it will be successful. Okay. Because maybe as we're coding, we'll encounter things that, it doesn't work. Okay. And then we'll say, to do lots of to-dos, students to complete and post in the forums. Right. So that's possible too. But I'm hopeful and optimistic that we may actually get to the end of this today. And I think there will be a lot of learning points along the way, because this is how a function is called. We already looked at function calling by parameter, reference and copy and those things. We'll get a few more opportunities to observe, function calling techniques here, different ways of doing these things. Okay, and along the way, I'll also explain what happens, when a function is called. I think, I can do this even now, but let's start coding, and then we'll at a suitable point when we're coding up a function, I'll say this is what actually happens. That will put things more in perspective and context. Is that a reasonable thing to try today? Are you guys okay with that? Yeah, Erica's the only one who's nodding. Okay, just raise your hand, guys. Yeah. Okay, Mohammed, Jay, you guys okay? All right, okay. I think most of you are. Is everybody still here? Let me increase the size here. Yeah, I think you're all here. Well, you still have to reach out to the other people who are not in class and tell them what the hell is going on. Okay, all right. So here's what we'll do. Okay, so and this I'm going to leave in your hands and say, Karthik. So in line 36, on line 36, hit enter. Let's go inside of main. And in fact, we can get rid of everything inside of main right now, right? Get rid of everything inside of main. And yeah. And then we'll create a new variable. Hit delete, hit delete. You didn't hit delete. We don't need that, right? Right. We'll create a new variable. Yeah, hit delete. Oh, you have to fork the code. Otherwise, it won't let you edit it. Hit the green fork button.
38, right?
Yeah. You clear out. Yeah, there you go. Delete it. Now, in main, and get rid of the comment also. Get rid of, because we're not going to print a line of moving stars today. All right, so let's create. Hey, that's really funny. How many characters are you indented in? 3. Right, you need to be 4. Why did it go only for 3? You need to go for 4 spaces in. Hit 4 spaces. You should be above the R. Yeah, there you go. Right. So let's create a new variable. We'll call this variable track. Okay, let's use track. Okay, so we'll say string track. Track. Now let's go to Google this time, okay, and find out, is there a way to pad a C++ string with a given number of characters? So just go to Google and type C++ pad string with n characters. Pad string with n characters. Yeah. Yeah, click that one, the cookbook thing. Yeah, okay. It is a pen. Okay. Is there another way? Can you scroll down? Maybe they have another better way somewhere. They're all append. Okay, all right. We'll use append for now. You can Google and find out better ways later on. So let's see. Go to the top again. S.append. S.append. No. Click that. I want to look at the syntax. S.append. I see the number of. I see. You want to tell it how many characters and then the character to append. Right. So let's go to our main now. And we'll use this. This is how we code most of the time. So you want to use a function, you just Google and find out what function it is. So many people think that learning a language is all about learning the function names and calls. Actually, it's important to learn a few function names and calls, but not all of them. Most of them you can look up. Okay. Track and then say semicolon right there. Yeah, string track semicolon. On the next line, you can say, I think it is track.append, and then append, A-P-P-E-N-D. And then the first parameter is, it is the length of the track, okay? So let's say our track length is going to be, how long, how big? Can you dismiss the blue part of the screen? Let's start with 80 characters, okay? So 81, okay? So 81, let's say the track is 81. So it's 40 on the side, 40 on this side, and then a vertical bar in the middle. Okay, I think that may. Right, no, open parentheses after append, open parentheses after append. And then, in fact, we'll do something better, okay? Above main, and above, as soon as you enter main, hit enter. As soon as you enter main, hit, yeah, right? Yeah, enter. Say const, track as a const, size t, const space, size t. No, const space, size t. Size underscore t. Space, all uppercase now, all uppercase, okay? Track underscore length. Equals, no, space equals space. Let's say 81, okay? 81. Okay, semicolon. And then string track. So right now, after string track, after the line string track, hit enter one more time, and put a comment there saying we want the track to have an odd length. Okay, so we want the track to have an odd length. Okay, so that what is the in a running race? What is that last thing called? The place that everybody's going towards, the goal. It's not a goal. Goal is in football, isn't it? So what is it called? What is everybody running towards in a running race?
Line.
Finish line?
Finish line. Okay. So the finish line is exactly midway. The finish line is exactly midway. Yeah, finish line is midway between the two players. Right. So on the next one, how would you do this? Okay. So now you've been given a track. Oh, I see. Yeah. You've been given a track length. Let's say you've been given a track length. In this case, we said, explicitly that's what it is. But suppose you were given a track length and you didn't know if it was odd or even. How would you make it consistently odd? Right? You want to make it consistently odd length. How can you make that consistently odd length? So one way you can do this is to on the next line, you can say, and by the way, okay. So on the next line, you can say if open parentheses, say track underscore length, all uppercase. Yeah, %2, space %2 equals 0, double equals 0. Then we know it's even, isn't it? If it's divisible by 2, it's even. So all you need to do then is, on the next line, you'd say track dot append and that should be indented in by 4 spaces because it belongs to no 4 spaces before track, 4 spaces before the word track. Yeah, okay. Now inside append, you're going to say track underscore length +1 comma and then a space within single quotes. Space within single quotes. Yeah. No, not double quotes, single quotes. Okay, put a semicolon at the end. And also, if possible, remove the space before the open parentheses because it's parameters of this function, so may as well stick it with that function. There you go. Yeah, get rid of that space. Now, let me think very quickly. Track this one. All right. So on the next line, yeah, instead of track.append, get rid of the track.append 81 there. Get rid of that. They say else. And the else should be lined up with if. Yeah. There you go. On the next line, you're going to say track.append. You can actually hit enter. Now don't do anything. Just triple click on line 42. Line that's 42. 43. Right now, copy that. You say Control C. Now yeah. Triple click and then paste. Triple click. No, 3 clicks. Now paste. Right. If you do that, see that the indentation is automatically preserved because if you triple click, you got the whole line. Then same because in your mind the same indentation here also is the same indentation, so triple click will work. Okay, so once we get that into our head, it'll just become automatic. Now hit enter, and also hit a couple of enters after that so that we have more space to do more stuff. Okay, now here I'd like to do something which is going to review something that we learned in branching statements. We never got a chance to use it. It is called a ternary operator. Okay, the ternary operator is probably going to be in the midterm, so I'm going to use this here so that you kind of know. What we can do now is comment out all of the lines 42 to 45. Comment out all of the lines. Yeah, all of the lines. Yeah, comment. I line up all the comments too, right? Then it looks kind of jagged and messy. Just line up all the comments. Yeah, there you go. And then put the indentation inside, but keep the indentation. The track.append should be 4 spaces to the right of the if. So the block looks just like it is good, but it's not. It's commented out. Okay, good. Now on the next line, you say one more blank line and put a comment there. One more blank line. One more blank line and then comment. Now here we're going to say exactly the same as before, but cleaner and more succinct. Okay, so exactly the same as the previous, if statement, as previous if statement, but more succinct. But yeah, more clear, but clearer. Cleaner is good. Cleaner. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fine. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So track.append. It's just one line. Okay, it's one line, and it is, I think it is worth, even though it's one line, it is worth spending 2 minutes. It'll take 2 minutes of just looking at the line and figuring out what the hell it's doing, but it is totally worth it. See, yeah, all right. You'll realize it. Okay, later on, I think. Right, so open parentheses, and here. Don't put space. Don't put a space before the open parent, because I think most programmers I've seen, right? Maybe there are some programmers who do it, but most programmers I've seen, when the function parameters are basically stuck to the function name, so that it's one unit. Because otherwise, it looks like an operator. Who knows what the hell is going on? Okay, so all right, track.append. Here we're going to put a ternary statement, and the ternary statement is going to be copy that whatever you have inside the if if track %2 equals 0, copy that thing, just drag and now you can, no, not the entire thing, only what's inside the parentheses. Yeah, copy that and then paste it inside of this parentheses. Right, right, and then and say space question mark, right, and then space. Now here's the thing, okay, so this is the same as the if statement, except it's going to evaluate to a value, and the value is whatever is before the question mark. It'll calculate that, and it's a Boolean, right? It's not a number anymore, it's a Boolean, isn't it? Because you have an equals, double equals. So what you're asking is a question mark there. It says, hey, is track length divisible by 2? You're asking a question there. Is track length divisible by 2? That's so much. So far, is this clear, right? That part, it's not complete yet. We haven't completed it. So far, it's asking, is track length divisible by 2? And then the answer could just be yes or no, right? This is only 2 possible answers. So the first part is yes, and the second part is going to be no, and they're going to be separated by a colon. That's all. Okay. So if it is divisible by 2, what we do is instead of this whole thing, use track length plus 1. Okay. So say track length plus 1. You can say track length plus 1. Yeah, uppercase track length plus 1. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. And here you don't need spaces around the plus. That is good. Okay. And again, we're breaking a rule, but it's a conscious rule breaking. Is because all right, we'll get to this later. Okay. No, track TRACK, not TRACL. Right. And then after the 1, put a comma and a space. No, not a comma and a space. But after the 1, put a space. Yeah, and then colon. Okay, not semicolon, colon. Yeah, right, space, just track line. Okay, semicolon at the end. That's all, right? This is one line, which does exactly the same thing as what we did in the if statement. This is one line, it's clearer, because now it looks like a question and there's 2 answers, right? And we're going to pick one of those answers depending on the question. That's what it means. This is called a ternary operator. And you'll find it comes in very, very handy. Okay, when you're writing a complex algorithm, for example, right, there's a bigger in 2C and all. If you're writing a bigger algorithm, it is usually helpful. No matter, even I've seen, right, programmers who have big screens. In fact, I used to, when I was at SRI, my neighbor in the next room, he had one of those. This was a time when the big monitors just came out, and he had. And he was a Java programmer, okay? And he didn't know any C++, but kick-ass Java, anything in Java, anything in C, he would pretty much find a way to do it in Java, and in a good way too, right? So anyway, so he was also very big on user interfaces and trying out the latest of gestures and things like that. So he was the first person to go out and buy these long monitors. Okay, so he had, because he said, I'm coding these programs, and many of these programs are millions of lines long, and some of my programs have algorithms. Just one algorithm is like 200 lines or 500 lines, or not that long, but 100 lines. Okay, and he said, it's hard for me to. It is useful for me to have the entire algorithm in front of my eyes so that I don't have to scroll up and down. Yeah, because when you have to scroll up and down and you're trying to figure out the details of an algorithm. And the advanced algorithms anyway, right? So trying to figure out the details of the algorithm, it is helpful to have the whole thing in front of your eyes and not have to scroll. I don't know how to express this. Maybe you'll uncover. It's a feeling that you have to experience, I think. So even then, okay. So so even though he had this huge monitor and he could fit lots and lots of code in that screen, so without scrolling, even he would still prefer that. He said, I think he said, what was it, Harry? I don't know. So it likes the ternary operator, okay? It likes the ternary operator because even then it condenses code. Like, instead of 5 lines, you get it in 1 line, which means that a still bigger algorithm can be fit in his big screen. So it is actually hugely useful as something that you may find worthwhile remembering. So this is called a ternary operator. Let's put a comment on line 47, at the end of the comment you have, on line 47. yeah, go to the end of line 47 and say, yeah, space, hyphen, space, space, hyphen, space, space, hyphen, space, space, hyphen, 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 hyphen is a dash, hyphen is a dash. Yeah, dash. No, not slash, dash. Hey, is your speaker, is speaker okay? You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can. My brain is sort of failing me. I forgot what I.
Yeah, because you were sick. You just did, and 2 days ago. All right, so I'll just remember to enunciate more clearly and things like that.
Right.
So say dash, dash, and then what was I going to say? Yeah. Well, exactly the same as the previous if statement, but cleaner. Using the you say using the ternary operator, TER, no, not turmeric, right? Ternary, TERNARY. Okay, so this operator. Okay, and then within parentheses you can say question mark, right? Question mark is called the ternary operator, right? And so remove the blank line after that, because that thing that we used is basically referring to that comment. No, the blank line after that. Okay. Remove 48, line 48, remove line 48. Okay, is everybody okay so far with the ternary operator? Good. So we've got the track length. Now let's place a vertical bar. Let's place a star in the middle of the track length. Okay. So how do we get to the middle character of the track length? Now remember, at this point, the length of the track has been changed. Yes, because it may, if you gave it an odd number, it would have become an even number. So you don't know. So we can't use that constant anymore. Track underscore length. However, the length of the track is now encoded inside the string. And anytime we say track dot length, we get the actual length. So that's what we're going to use from now on. So put a comment, blank line, after that, blank line, enter, hit enter, and put a comment there, saying note, okay? Track length has potentially changed. Track length has potentially changed. Length, LEN, this is LEN, right? Has potentially changed, So we should be careful to use change full stop. Full stop, capital S. So we should be careful to use only track dot length. Only you can say on the next line. Go to the next line, right? Go to the next line. Continue the comment on the next line, right? Track dot length. Open close parentheses, length, open close. No, you had it right. Length, open close, right? And not, and not track length, uppercase with the thing, track underscore length from now on. Right? From now on. So we're putting these comments here mainly for the benefit of all the students who are not in class. Okay, so we won't be doing this roundabout way of coding in class if more students actually showed up. So then we can say, well, you don't have to watch the video, right? So that is why we're having to put in so many comments that really you guys don't need. That doesn't make sense. So in a way that it'll be beneficial to you guys if you can convince all the other classmates to come and attend class. Okay, so we don't have to be wasting time. All right, so now on. Okay, so on the next line, so we're going to put a star in the middle. Okay, so hit enter, and say so track length, what is it? Track square bracket, and then so 80 divided by 2 is 40, and then that would be the 41st character. So we want to set okay, so 81 divided by 2 is also 40, and that will also be the 41st character. Okay, good. So all we want to do is track inside there you can say track dot length, Yeah, open, close. And length is a function, all right? It's a method, what's it called, a function. So you always, and unlike in JavaScript and other languages, maybe length is a property, so you can actually just say dot length and get it. But in C++, it is a function. It actually does, right? So length, divide by 2, right? Outside of the parentheses, you say divide by 2. Divide by 2. No, it's a //2. /2. Now you say track dot length and divide by 2. That's it, right? Outside of the square bracket now. Outside of the square bracket equals. You put a star within single quotes. Right? Now semicolon at the end, and then go to the line above it, and we'll put a comment above that and put a comment. Right? No, well, actually put a blank line there, blank line. Yeah, enter, right? Put a comment there saying now place a star in the middle of the track, and you place it, and then middle of the track, yeah, and then well, get rid of the and then get rid of the and then. And then the full stop there after track. The players will start from the two ends, and the first player to reach the star is the winner. Okay, and you can go to the next line because it's going to go past. Is there a vertical? You see that? By the way, you see that thin gray line there. You see? Do you see, Karthik? Do you see the thin gray line in the middle of your screen? Yeah. All right. So I think I'm not sure, but I think that is 80 columns or 80 characters. Now, many IDEs, Xcode, Eclipse, VS Code, and even online GDB apparently they're actually helping programmers by giving you an invisible, well, not invisible, partially visible, slight line there, so that programmers have in their head, a feeling for where 80 columns is. And the reason for that is that even though we have these big ass monitors now, like 4,000 pixel wide, and you can have these things, even then, I know lots and lots of programmers who still program within 80 columns. So they have a big monitor, but I go to them, hey, you have a big monitor, why are you chopping these things up? They say, well, that way I can have 4 different files open at the same time, right, next to each other, right? So programmers have this, I think, right, this mental fixation saying 80 characters. So you can train yourself eventually and to say, well, when I see that line, I have to hit enter and start on the next line. You don't have to do it now. Right? Okay. Reach the star is a winner. Okay. So that's what it is. Now, all right. Good. So now what we want to do is, yeah, on the next line, blank line after that. Right? Blank line. All right. Also put more blank lines. Get the return away. Return being so close to us, kind of puts me on my nerves. Okay. So all right. So good. We have stuff to do. So all right, that's right, great. Okay. So all right. So we've got this, and we've got the track all prepared. Now what we need to do is place the two players on the two ends and start the race. But before we do that, what we're going to do is get the speeds of the two players. Okay. All right. Great. Okay. Here's what we're going to do, a function. Okay. So now we'll say double. Okay. Double. Okay. Get player speed. Oh, actually, you know what? No, actually, get rid of this line. Get rid of this line because I'm sorry. Okay, let's get the names of these players. Right. So now, yeah, comment there and say to do. Right. To do, comment, and then to do, and you're going to do this because this is simple. Okay, simple stuff. I'm not going to do anymore. Right. I'll just leave it, and you can to do, and then after the to do, you say prompt two players for their names and read them in. Right. Prompt two players for their names and read them in one after another. Basically, you're going to say player 1, enter your name, and then player 2, enter your name. Okay, that's all you're going to do. Player 1 and player 2, you're going to get their two names, right? So, so you're going to do this, yes or no? So, can you guys do this? Not now, right? Well, when we wrap up a bit more, I'll say, all right, let's take a break for 5 minutes while you flesh out the to-dos, and then I'll come back and do the rest. But now I'm going to do some more before I hand over to you. But before I do that, I want to make sure that you guys are confident enough to do that to-do part. You've done this many times before. Karthik doesn't have to do it himself, but someone else could call out the code and Karthik type it in. Or, Karthik, if you're feeling up to it, you can also do it. So all you have to do is do a cout, print the prompt, and then, read in with getLine, the player's name. All right. So essentially what you're going to do is cout player 1, enter your name, read it in into player 1 name. Right. And then say immediately, player 2, what is your name? read in the player's two name. You have two variables, player one name, player two name. That's all, right? That's what you have to do. Yes or no? We're not going to do it now. You guys are going to do it. But are you guys confident that you'll be able to do it? Yes? All right. Hey, Simon, is it two hands up or you're adjusting your glasses? You good, Simon? You're good too. You can do this.
Yeah,
the to-do part.
I'm just good. Can you hear me?
I can hear
I
you.
said I'm
Yeah.
good.
Good. Okay. Right. I don't want anyone at this point to say I cannot do this, because this is like week 2 material. Doesn't matter if you can't do it, that is okay. But it just means that you have to get solid on that. Okay. So this is. Okay, is everybody all right? Okay, I got the message across. Okay, this is really important and you guys can do it. Okay, now we have the two players' names. So what we can do is we need the two players, right? So let's go up to line number 38 and hit enter. Let's say after line 39, hit enter. After line 30. No, actually, we'll do all three on the same line. After string track, comma, string track, and after track, put comma. Space, say player one underscore name, right? Player one underscore name. No, player one, no space. Yeah, underscore name, and then comma, player two underscore name. Okay, so we have these two variables. These are the variables you're going to fill in, right? So you're going to do a C out and then get line into this and get line into that. That's all, right? You're going to get this. All right, good. So we have the two players' names. All right, so now let's go to line 59. Line 59. Hit enter. Right. So line 59. So what we want to do now is yeah. Okay. So double space. Player one underscore speed. Okay. Player one underscore speed. Player one underscore speed equals. Get, space equals space, right? Space equals space. Get player speed. No. So because we're it's verbal and you're typing it in. It's a function name, right? Function names cannot have spaces in them. So when you think that I'm calling out a function name, just put underscores where you think the spaces should be. Yeah, Karthik. All right. So get player speed. Okay, open parentheses, and you're going to pass the name of the player. Okay, you're going to pass the name of the player. Yeah, and it's going to be player one, player underscore one. Yeah, all right, enter. So and then a semicolon, enter. Right now, all you have to do is triple click. Practice again. Triple click on 59. Triple click on 59. Copy, and then triple click on the next line. No. Triple click and then paste. Triple click and paste. No, triple. Good, paste. Right now, change player one to player two. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So is everybody okay? Now at this point, we would have this the speeds of the two players. However, we haven't written a function. So let's go above main now and write this function. Right. So we're going to write this function and come back to this. Okay. So since we're going to come back to this, all right. So right. So now line 35. Hit enter on line 35. Yeah, enter. Now put 2 forward slash, open a comment, and then press the dash key until it gets to 80 columns, right? Press the dash key until, no, don't, that takes up too much ink and it uglifies the paper, okay? Just dash is cleaner. Yeah, right. All the way up to 80 columns. Yeah, enter. Okay, now here, we're not good. So what that means is that even though it's one file, we're basically segmenting the file into cognitively cohesive chunks. The first part of the file is to do with the screen and modifying the screen and setting pixels and things like that, right? The second part is going to be player related logic. So we'll do some player related stuff here. And finally, the third part, again, you can have the demarcation, that is the actual game, the main part. So what we can do is hit enter one more time. Hit enter one more time. One more time. Right now, copy that line 37 and put it on line 40 also. The comment, that entire dash thing there. Okay, yeah, copy that. Triple click and copy, and then paste it on line 40. No, what? You didn't copy. Yeah, copy, and then line 40, paste it. Okay, good. Now inside of that block on line 38, yeah, yeah. Now put a comment there. Put a comment. No, immediately after on line 38 itself, you say functions related to player logic. Okay, functions related to player logic. Okay, right. The lowercase l because it's is that an uppercase or lowercase? Is that a lowercase l? No. It's in your logic, in the word logic, it is a lowercase l. I can't tell. It is a lowercase l, isn't it? Oh wow, it looks like uppercase for me with these glasses, maybe. Yeah, it is lowercase. Can you do an L uppercase? I want to see what the difference is. Oh wow, so the angle is sharper. And the angle of the L is sharper for uppercase and here, but in certain fonts it doesn't show as easily, especially when the screen is all scrunched up like this. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's not play around with that more. All right. So, all right. So now on the next line, we're going to define our function. What do we call our function? So a double, right? So we say double, no, blank line. Yeah. Double space. I think it was called get underscore player speed, right? Get player speed. There you have it autocomplete. Hit enter, it'll complete it for you. Yeah. So, all right. So open parentheses immediately after the D, immediately after the D. And here you're going to say a string player name. No, string space player name. So player name is a variable and string is the data type for it. Right now, space curly brace. No, not there. Outside of the parentheses. All right. Yeah. All right. You can do it there too. All right. Okay, enter. And a few more enters and close the curly brace too, so we know that we're inside that block, right? Yeah, right. So now get inside on line 41, and let's do a comment there. And then in the comment we're going to say, I'll do this one, okay? All right. So in fact we don't even need a comment because I'm going to do it. So I'll just do it here, and I'll do it in a way that it's pretty obvious, so that if it's not, you can let me know, right? So indent in 4 spaces. Right now, say C out, and then space, left shift, and then player name. By the way, player name is not 2 words. Player underscore name. No, player. No, hang on, just a sec. Okay, in your parameter list above, on the line above, it's player underscore name, not player name. No, you got 2 words there. Player name on line 40. Line 40. On line 40.
Inside the function, yeah.
Inside the function, declaration. There you go. Right. So on the next line now on 41. Yeah. Left shift. C out. Space. Left shift. No. Left shift is two less than signs. Okay. 2 less than signs. Yeah. Hey, you got to get well before the midterm, Karthik, okay? And you got to review all the material that we've studied in the previous weeks, okay? It's like super duper important, all of these things. Okay, now left shift, you want to say player name, okay? And then left shift again. And then open quote. All right, and you're going to say comma space. Yeah, now you're going to say, type the characters A and L, type the characters. Type. Oh, yeah. Type the characters within single quotes. You can say A within single quotes. No, inside the inside the quotes itself. We haven't completed the right. A. Yeah, within close the quotes. No, close the single quote. Space and L. Rapidly until you get to the end of the line and hit enter. Until you get to the end of the line and hit enter. Okay. Now you need a left shift and L after that. Left shift and L. Yeah, good. That's the way to do it. Yeah, okay. And L. ENDL. All right, semicolon. Okay, now we've asked the player to start typing these things. One thing you can do later on, I'm not going to do it now. Okay, you can look at Erica's code from a few days ago, where she had, get ready, set, go, 1, 2, 3. You can put it there so that the players are prepared. It just doesn't say, hey, type, go type, right? And then, right? So you can do that later on, but I'm not going to do it now. Okay, so and now hit enter. Hit enter. Now we're going to take the timestamp. Okay, we're going to take the clock, right? Clock value, or let's just do time, right? So you're going to say, what is it? Time. Yeah, I think we can say you're going to get the value back from time. Say unsigned. Okay, unsigned. Unsigned. TS1 space TS1 space TS1. That's timestamp 1. Okay, equals space equals space, right? Time parentheses 0 capital L, right? 0 capital L. 0 capital L. Okay. Now one thing we can do is instead of using 0 capital L, we'll do something else. Okay. Instead of 0L, say null PTR, NULL-PTR. Okay, null pointer is a null pointer. Now, time, when it is given a null pointer, will return the time instead of stuffing the time into some parameter passed in by reference. That's the only difference. And so, if you want to use time in a way that is we're going to use we're using here, you pass it the null pointer. Now, I think that this should compile without not now. Okay, I don't think we need to typecast null pointer as unsigned because it's already, that's what we used to do before. We said 0L and then we had unsigned within parentheses before the 0L. Do you remember? Where every time we call time, we say 0L and then we have unsigned. That's because we took the 0L, which is a long number, 0 in 4 bytes. Long is 4 bytes. Yes, data representation. Long is 4 bytes long, right? So 0 as a long is 4 bytes, all zeros. Now, time is expecting a pointer and a null pointer. What is a null pointer? A null pointer is basically a 0 address. Yes, a null pointer means it's an address whose value is 0. It's not some random address out there. It's right here, 0. Right? So a null pointer is actually monitored by the system. So well, that nobody's allowed to write there. It's a special location. So what we used to do before was take that long number and pass it to time and make it believe that it's actually a null pointer. It is a null pointer essentially because it's all zeros, because a pointer is also 4 bytes and a long is also 4 bytes. So we took a long, which is 0, and told time, here's your pointer. We don't have to do that. We can actually say null pointer. Null pointer is actually 4 bytes and it's 0. So that's what this is. Okay. All right. So null point. So put a semicolon after that. Put a semicolon after that. Right. And then on the next line, you can say C out. Yeah. Left shift. And then within quotes, you say go, uppercase G, lowercase O, right? Colon, no, go space colon. In fact, instead of go, we can say start now. We use this to start now, and then colon, right? Space, right? A semicolon at the end. Right. Now put a blank line above that, and we'll put a comment there, right? Put a blank line above that, and let's put a comment there. One more blank line, actually. Sorry, one more blank line, and then put a comment saying, here's where we can consider incorporating Erica's hack. Okay, and we're not going to say what it is because that way we'll actually encourage the students to go and look in the Reddit and say, hey, where is Erica's post from there? What is right? Incorporating Erica's hack to give the player a heads up. To give the player a heads up. And by the way, Erica is capital E and then apostrophe S. Okay? Capital E apostrophe S at the end. Hack, not hand. Hack. It's not it's not a hack, but we'll call it a hack. All right. So now it says start now. And at this point, they got to type bam, 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 bam like that, and then they're going to hit enter. So as soon as they start now, and then on the next line, you're going to say get line. We'll use get line. Yeah, say get line. No, get line one word. Get line one word. Okay, get line, open parentheses, and open parentheses. I'm going to say cin, comma, and then we're going to say space user input, right? User underscore input. Here we need the underline, okay? Underscore. Okay, so a semicolon at the end. And since we're using that variable, let's declare the variable right at the top. After line 40, hit enter. After line 40. Yeah, now say string user input. Yeah, and then semicolon and a blank line after that. Semicolon, hit enter. All right, good. So now, as soon as they hit enter, get line would return. Yes. So we need to take second timestamp. So triple click on line 44. Triple click on line 44. And then yeah, paste it immediately after on 49. Triple click again. Right now, let's do one thing to be absolutely, squeaky clean. All right. Now, triple click on line 44 again and cut it this time. Right. Triple click on line 44 and hit Control X. Right now, go to the line after 46 and hit enter. Right. Go to the line 46 and hit enter. Right. Right now. All right. So hit enter. That should go on the next line. So go to before the U and hit enter. Yeah. All right. Oh, well, you didn't triple click. That's why you got the indentation messed up. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so now because the time is start now, it's going to take a few milliseconds to do start now. Yes, nanoseconds maybe. We don't want to have that contaminate the total time. So we're going to say, all right, it's really tight, right? We get the time, get line, get the time again. So we only have the time taken by the user to punch it in. Okay, all right, good. All right, so on the next line after TS2, no, just change TS1 to TS2 on the second time. The second time is TS2. All right, so on the next line, so we say calculate. We have to calculate the time taken by the user. We'll say what do we call this variable? Duration. Let's say call it double it's unsigned, right? So unsigned user time. No, one more blank line actually. Sorry, unsigned player underscore time. No, let's say user time. Let's just say user time, not player time. I don't know. That doesn't sound right. Hang on, just one sec, okay? Not user time. Call it typing time, right? Let's just call it typing time. Typing time. Equals space TS2 minus TS1. Okay, I hit enter. A semicolon, semicolon, enter. Now the speed of the player is the number of characters divided by the time it took for them. Yes. So number of characters per second is essentially what we're going for. And then we have to scale it down because you don't want the player to be going really fast. Okay, we'll do all that later. Okay, right. So typing time TS2 minus TS1. Okay, so so now you can say double player speed equals speed. Yeah, great. Okay, equals typing time divided by user input dot length. Okay, right? Dot length, and length is a function, right? User input dot length, and length is a function, right? A method. So semicolon, the open close and then semicolon, and no space, no space before. Yeah, there you go. And semicolon. Now here, okay. Now, as you become professional programmers and all, as soon as you type that line, right? As soon as you type that line, the question that will bubble up in your head is, well, I'm dividing by something. Can I be sure that that is never going to be 0? Yes, because because the program will. Here's one of the most common questions asked by students in the 2B and 2C subreddits. Okay, 2B and 2C subreddits, students always say, I got the quest working. It's working perfectly on my computer, but it's not working on the questing side. Okay, so that is the most common question I've had in all the quarters that I've offered questing, is that it works on my computer, it doesn't work on the questing side. Okay, and the reason for that is mostly because the questing side asks questions that you didn't ask when you're coding. So every question you ask when you're coding will turn into a test, and you cover those cases, right? And so the questing is really practice for being a professional programmer, because you get to know and learn what kinds of questions to ask, because anybody can be a programmer. And you get something that works in a party or a family game. Yeah, okay, because in a family game it crashes, nobody's going to kick you out or anything, right? So, but if you're going to really create a product and release it out there, you can't have something that crashes because someone entered wrong input. So you got to take care of all the cases, and you got to ask all the right questions. Is this program going to crash in someone's hand because they hit enter and didn't supply anything at all, right? Then your program is dead. That point, not just that program, your app is dead, right? So what we want to do is, because we type that, this question should bubble up in your head. If it doesn't, you have a tough time in 2B and 2C. So what we're going to do is make sure that you're never going to be dividing by 0. So where we get the length, the users and the players, and where do we get user input? Do we get user input here? Get line, right? Get line, right? After line 40, after 49, after 49, hit enter. Right, one more enter, right? Now hit to make a comment, right? And say defensive programming, okay? Defensive programming, colon, right? Programming, colon, right? Make sure dividing by 0 cannot happen. All right, so that is called defensive programming. When driving, I don't know. Is this 2 kinds of driving courses, car driving courses, right? These days, kids are not even learning to drive. My son said, I don't want to learn to drive at all, because, he's using Uber, Lyft, and everything. So many of these young kids I know, right? So many of these people saying, because when I was I didn't have a car until I came here, but I was very eager to learn to drive a car, because, driving a car, it seems so fun. Now I don't want to drive. I don't have a car now. But I remember kids, when I was 10, even 20 years ago, kids wanted to learn to drive, right? But now, so anyway, where I was going with that was that the DMV offers 2 kinds of driving courses, or recommends 2 kinds of driving courses. One is basically basic driving to get your license, okay? But what is recommended is that there's another course called defensive driving course. Do you guys know that there's another course called defensive driving? So what is the difference between an ordinary driving course and a defensive driving course? Can someone tell me that? It's actually very important, and it's beautiful, because it carries over here into programming. Yeah, so take a guess. What is the difference between an ordinary driving course and a defensive driving course?
I feel like they teach like defensive and offensive, like you're supposed to be a defensive driver, because like people like do weird, weird things, like cut you off or something. You have to like always be looking.
Yes, okay. It is what Erica said, right? It is what Erica said. But I'm gonna say that in a slightly different way. Okay, slightly different way, so that it actually maps into here. Okay, in a regular driving course, you just learn not to make any mistakes, because if you don't make any mistakes, you get your license. Okay, what they teach you in a defensive driving course is that, well, you not only learn how to not make mistakes, but you also learn how to compensate for other people's mistakes. Right? That is what defensive driving is. Defensive driving is saying, well, my program is good, right? But defensive programming is saying my program is good. But at the same time, what happens if users are, doing stupid things, right? I don't want my program to die just because someone did a stupid thing out there. So that is being defensive programming, right? So defensive programming is where you, hey, well, Karthik disappeared when I said this very important thing. Hey, Karthik, you got to watch the video, okay? So defensive programming is, you were listening to it, okay? All right, good. Okay, so that's what it is, defense. So what we're going to do on the next line is simply say, if on the next line, hit enter. If user input dot length, no blank line required, because it's going to be sticking to that defensive programming thing there. Yeah. If what is it? User input dot length No, again, if immediately you have a parentheses after the user input dot length, open close. You got to get into the habit. Okay, open close parentheses. Yeah, double equals 0. Double equals 0. Yeah. On the next line. No, on the next line. You don't need a space after 0. On the next line, simply going to say indent in 4 spaces in, right, and say return 0. Okay, which means that if the user didn't enter, the player didn't enter anything at all, and just hit enter, you're going to say the speed is 0. You're not going to say, hey, the speed is something divided by 0 and the program dies. We're just guarding against that happening. Okay, that's what it is. Right now, hit enter so that it's all separate and clean. Okay, I think that's enough for at the end, you just say return player speed. Okay, return player speed at the end, line 57, you can say return player speed. Yeah, player. I think that is enough for the player speed. No, actually, hang on, right? Because, let's say they took 3 seconds, or let's say they took 8 seconds to type in 80 characters, okay? So you have the player speed set at 10 characters per second, but 10 characters per second is too fast for our person to move, because each iteration, you're going to sleep for 1 second. So what we'll do is divide that. What's the fastest they could do? 10 characters per second? Right. So we're going to divide the player speed by 10. We'll return a value that is player speed divided by 10. All right, semicolon. Right. I put a blank line above the return statement. Right. Also put a comment on that line. Yeah. So space. No. On the return line. On the return line. On the end of the return line. Put it. Yeah. Open and say to do. Figure out a good value for the 10, for what we're using as 10, right? Yeah, you can put 10 within quotes, right? For the 10. Okay, all right, good. All right, so what's going on here? Now I'm running this in my head to make sure that the logic is okay, and everybody should be doing the same thing too. So what are we doing here? All right, so we say, all right, so maybe let's say, we'll pick one of you guys. I'll say Elijah, and say, okay, it'll say Elijah, type the characters A and L rapidly until you get to the end of the line and hit enter. Okay, all right. And by the way, put a full stop at the end of the word enter on line 43, because that is the end of that sentence. So the user is not waiting for more. On the end of line 43, put a stop. All right. So now, all right. So and then we say start now, get the time. Yeah, all right. That is essentially, it'll return the speed of the player. Yes or no? We can now test it out before doing the rest of the logic for our game. So let's go to our main again. Okay. Now, what we need to do here is simply on line 88. Yeah, open comment. Say temporary code just to verify previous code fragments, right? Okay, on the next line, right? So on the next line, you're going to say cout left shift. What is it? Player one name, right? Left shift player one name. No. Yeah, there. You actually have an autocomplete somewhere, right? Name. And then left shift, colon space. No, within quotes. And it's not semicolon, colon. Yeah, double quotes. And then after that, left shift again. Oh, you know what? Before the colon, inside of the quotes, say space. Oh, we can do better than that. Well, we can do better than that. Okay. No. Inside of after the quotes, say apostrophe s, apostrophe s, apostrophe s. So it'll say, Elijah apostrophe s, and no space before the apostrophe. So it'll, apostrophe s will be stuck to Elijah. Yeah. All right. So space, now space, speed. And then, yeah, right. And then go to the end, and say player one underscore speed, and then space left shift. And then you can say within quotes, you can say space chars per second. And then you can, within parentheses inside there, you can say scaled value, right? You can say scaled value because it's not the real value. You're scaling by 0.1. This is dividing by 10 is scaled value. Right? All right. Now, semicolon, endl at the end. Great. Thank you. All right. Endl. At the end, you want to go left shift endl. Yeah. Now triple click and then paste the same line one more time after triple clicking on the same next. No, you need a semicolon. Put the semicolon there. No. Semicolon and then triple click. Yeah. Now triple click, copy, next line, triple click, paste. Great. Wait, enter. Yeah. Player 2 and also player 2. Right now, go to the end. End of that line. Get return one more line below. Right, blank line before the return. Right. So I think we'll do this. I'll have them type and get the speeds. Right. Good. I think we're at the place where we're doing this sequentially. Okay, we're doing this sequentially, getting the players, getting their speeds. Now we've got everything set up. We can set up the two players at the two ends and then start our loop where they start marching towards each other. That's all. Okay. So this is very simple, isn't it? It's actually a very simple project. And I think, what time is it now? It's 9:30. Yeah, I think we may, again, right? I think we should be able to complete this before 9:45, maybe. All right. So let's run this now. And see if it actually works so far. Okay. All right, let's fix it. What does it say? Wow, why does it say no call for append? Go right to the top. Do you have IOStream and everything? Yeah, you do have IOStream. Go back to that Stack Overflow page where it says, maybe we're missing an include file or something. Why? No, append should be a. Go, the Stack Overflow page. That other tab. You have that other tab over there. Oh, no, the third tab you have open. 4.1, padding a string. C++ padding a string. 3 tabs. Yeah, browser tab. Right. So start append. Yeah, that is good. Why is it not? You just do a Google, right? Just do a Google C++ string.append. We'll find a better reference. Just type right in the URL bar. Type triple click on the URL bar and type C++ string append. C++ string.append or string append. Yeah, enter. Yeah, click that. The first one. It'll tell us if we need an include file or something. It is a public member function. That's really funny. And this is online GDB too, right? Okay, let's do something. Okay, let's go to your code again. Hash include this thing called string. Okay, right to the top. Go to the right to the top. And after IOStream, after IOStream, because Unix is separate. So let's keep the hash include string and then hit enter so that the two includes are separated. All right, string and then enter. Unix can be separate. Okay, now try to compile again. Oh, long unsigned int. I see. Maybe we just got the parameters out of order. No, go back to that page, that page that you had, the C++ page. I think our parameters are, no, not that, not share. Yeah, the browser tab, the third browser tab.
Things the way. One sec.
All right. So what is the order in which you got to supply these parameters? String.append. The first is the character. I see. The first is the character and the second is the length. I think we got it the other way around. Go back to your code. Where's our append? Where is our append? Where are we calling append?
In the main, right?
In main. Okay. Yeah, there you go. I think attract.append. Oh yeah, we're not even, I see. We're not even passing it the thing to, attract.append. Oh, the character to append, right? We didn't give it the space. So I think the first track.append, the first parameter is got to be just a space within quotes. On line 76, go to line 76. Yeah. Now, inside the parentheses, to say a single space within single quotes. Yeah, and a comma after that, comma and space. Right. Okay. Try to compile it now. Okay. Yeah, we didn't declare those. Just declare those. Player one name. Player one. Hang on. Line 87. Where's line 87? Oh, it's a player one name, not player one. It's player one name. Player one name. Player two name. No. That is correct. Player one speed. Okay. Now hit Control E. No, go to that. Go to line 87 again. And now it's a player underscore one. Player one underscore name. Player one underscore name. No, it's player one. No underscore there. It is the name of the variable. So we created the variable called player one name. Yes, you remember? We created a variable called player one name. So that's what needs to go there. Great. So same thing for the other one too. All right. So go to the end. Now I think it should compile now. Yeah. All right. Run it. Yeah. It is compiling now. Oh, wait. Oh, why didn't it even? Oh, wait. There was a to-do item. You guys had to put in the name. All right. Okay. How about this? I'm going to give you like 3 minutes. Is 3 minutes enough? Right? 3 minutes. Okay. 3 minutes. Fill in that to-do part where you're getting the player names. And then I'll come back and we'll do the rest. If we don't manage to complete it today, that is okay, because we can still continue to work on it on Tuesday, next class. If, I'm taking a big risk by saying I'll complete it on Tuesday, because chances are one of you will already complete it over the weekend and post the code, which means that we won't have the fun of, we can still play the game, I guess, on Tuesday. We'll do something else on Tuesday if you guys finish it. Otherwise, we'll finish it on Tuesday, but 3 minutes now. Okay, you guys hit Control C, Karthik. Now I'm going to turn the laptop around so I'm not here. You guys, please, preferably someone who hasn't called out code before, right? I know Erica, Hannah, Namrata, maybe even Charlene, they've all called out code for typing. So someone else hopefully will call out the code and then you type. Is that okay, Karthik? Great. Okay, so if nobody else calls, obviously, Erica or one of you guys can pick it up, but I would like if the quieter people get a chance to complete that part. Okay. All right. Thanks. I will. I'll check back in 3 minutes. Okay. Alexa, set a timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes starting now.
Who wants to call out code?
I think I know what we should do. So let's go more near the top of main. Yeah, like under string track all those ones go under there. I need to stop it.
Yeah, you need to
first.
stop your code.
So let's make a new line. Just another new line to make it cleaner. Let's do C out, left shift, in quotes, what's the name for player 1? Just ask what is the name for player 1 with a space at the end. And make sure to semicolon at the end. And on the next line, get line as one word. And in brackets, or not brackets, in the function, just like a regular, not bracket, no, not squiggly brackets. Sorry, what's it called? The regular parentheses, yeah. CN, comma, space, and then we're gonna put the player 1 name there. And basically you can just like copy paste that and do it for player 2. Make sure to have the semicolon at the end of everything. That's what I think we should do.
Yeah. Also, like between get line and the parentheses, delete the space.
And we can test it to see if it actually works. Yeah, there we go.
Alexa, stop the timer. Does it work?
The prompting works.
Great, great. Actually, you know what? You can say, instead of what is the name for player 1, it's okay too. You can say player 1, enter your name in direct speech. So you can change that. I think it'll sound nicer. You can say player 1, enter your name, and then colon space. Player 1, enter your name, colon space, and then put a comma after player 1. Yeah, right. So now triple click and paste that one, and then change to player 2. Yay! You got the hang of it, Karthik. Yes, so that is saves a lot of time. All right. So I think if we run it now, excellent. But yeah, type Karthik. All right. Oh, I see. It doesn't take a backspace. Yeah. Enter. Now, let's say, I don't know, Matt, maybe Matt. Okay, type. Lots of it. La. Right. Hit enter whenever you're ready. All right. Now go. Oh, Peter's here. All right. No. You got it? Oh, hang on. That's funny. All right. So let's go to the calculation. So that part is okay. Let's go to the calculation. Oh, yeah, of course. All right. Where's our calculation? Oh, put a space before chars per second. Okay. First of all, put a space before on line 96. On line 96, put a space. All right. So it's separated. Player one speed. It's calculated. That's a double. So let's go to the function that calculates the speed. Oh, yeah, no, that's what it is. There is player speed a double. It is a double. Player speed. Oh, typing time. What is typing time? Unsigned. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay. All right. So here's what's going on. Again, data representation, right? So we're doing a division there. And division is typing time divided by user length. But still, it should have gotten we should have gotten a number, not 0, because typing time divided by. Oh, yeah, it should also be the other way around. User input dot length divided by typing time, so characters per second, right? So switch it around. It's, characters per second is user input dot length divided by typing time. Yeah. All right, and we need to do one more thing after that, right? Right. Divided by typing time, a semicolon at the end, and get rid of the inside semicolon. Yes, get rid of the space before the semicolon. And then there's a semicolon after user input dot length, and get rid of that. No, on the same line, There, and now before the word user input dot length, right after the equals, put the word double, right? Put the word double inside of parentheses, and then space after that. Right? What that means is that, I need the quotient. You need to divide this by this and get the quotient, but I want the fractional part also. You can't discard, if it's 0.5, don't give me 0, give me 0.5. So make the division happen in double space, not in integer space. Does it make sense? Okay. All right. Now play this again. Let's see what the two speeds are. Okay. Now, Karthik, you got to be on your guard. As soon as it says start typing, you got to say ALAL. Okay. Maybe for Mac, you can do it slower. Okay. Not that slow. Okay. He's hell bent on. All right. Okay. What is it? Great. Okay, so Matt, what is it? 0.81 and 1.05. Great. Hey, how come Matt is faster? I thought Matt was supposed to be slower, right? How come Matt is faster than Karthik? Okay, can you scroll up a bit in that black console? Yeah, maybe Karthik was slower because he just typed so much and he delayed a lot towards the end. So Matt just did that. And Matt did. I see. Matt did A and then lots of L's together. So you got repeating L's, and that's why you got faster. All right. So here are things. Now, in this place where on line 59, hit enter on line 59. Right. One more enter, and go up. Now, all right. Now open a comment, and say to do. So you can dock the user speed, dock user speed for things like repeated characters and other kinds of stutters. Okay. Stutters and other stutters, STUTTERS. Okay. And you can also say, only A and L is allowed, right? If someone accidentally typed S there, then that's also a penalty. So it's got to be only A and L, and it's got to be strictly alternating, right? And it also got to be strictly alternating. Maybe you can't have doubles and all. So you can figure out ways in which you can dock the speed. So that way, Matt could say, I'm going to hit A and then have the repeat. Do lots and lots of A's for me. That will actually end up in a lower speed because they've been penalized for not doing alternate things. Okay. All right. So now we'll assume that people are going to play this game in the right way by doing alternate things, but you will be eventually doing these things. Okay. All right. Now we got the two speeds. We got these two. All right. Now let's go to our main. We got the speeds. let's go to main. Let's go to main. And what were the two speeds, by the way, just to get an idea? So 1 and that's great. That's great. Okay. So 1 and 0.8 is fantastic because now what we can do in our loop is that we start the two players on the two ends of our track, and the star is in the middle. I hope the star is in the middle. We never actually printed the track and saw the star in the middle, right? So now what we'll do is in the loop, we're going to have player positions, right? Here and here, and then we sleep, and then we recalculate the player positions by adding the speed of the first player to the first player's position, right? That'll take it from 1 to, let's say, 1. Maybe it'll take it from 1 to 2.5, right? Because it's fractional, right? 2.1 or something like that. Then you're going to add, after adding, you're going to truncate it to 2. So now player 1 will be at second position, right? And then same thing for player 2. They would also have changed. However, if the player speed was less than 1, they wouldn't have changed position at all. They'll be in the same place. So because after truncating, they'll be at 0.8, but 0.8 will show us position 0, right? So we figure it out. There's some intricacies here. There's some intricacies here in which the numbers are going to be added up and then truncated to get the visual depiction, which I think will be nice, and will also be very instructive to see, hey, why are they moving at different speeds? And even though we're adding these things and all, it'll be nice to see. All right, now let's do the actual race, right? Let's go to the race part. Let's go to the race part. In our main line. There you go. No, at the end of main. Right, above the return. Above the return. Now you can comment out. You can comment out line 98 and 99. Comment out line 98 and 99. Okay, great. Now we're going to start the actual race, right? So on the next line, hit enter. In fact, what we can do is actually do it cleaner. We can, you can say, we'll call a new function to show the race. Okay, so you can say show race happening, right? Show race happening. So type show underscore race underscore happening. And the parameters are going to be, what do we call the parameters? Shall we call them?
We want to do it inside of main?
Let's not do it inside main. We'll do it in a function and we'll call that function, right? So we'll pass, right. So the first parameter is just going to be player 1 speed, and the second parameter is going to be player 2 speed. Okay, we'll just do that, and that's all, right? Player 1 speed, player 2 speed, and also track, right? So show race happening, open parentheses, track, comma, player 1 speed, player 2 speed. Yeah, and put the commas in there. Yeah, speed, comma, space before that. And then they're missing a space after the first comma. Great. Okay, now semicolon at the end. And that is basically main, right? Now all we need to do is just write that function, show race happening. So, and you actually triple click on that function, triple click on that line, right? Copy, no, triple click and copy into your buffer, triple click and copy, 3 clicks and copy. No, 3 clicks and copy. Yeah, all right. Now go above main, to the place above main, right? Now what we want to do is, yeah, on line 68. Yeah, hit enter on line 68. On line 68, hit enter. One more time. Now go up. Now paste it. Oh, yeah, fix up the indentation. No, actually, go to the beginning of that line, and say void. And then get rid of the spaces before void. And you need a space after void, right? One space after void and get rid of the spaces before, right? Now go to the end, and then get rid of the semicolon. And then space, curly brace. And then hit enter. One more time, a few lines there, right? Now, all right, now let's put the data type of these 3 parameters, right? Track is string, okay? So you say string. No. In your parameter list, on line 68, on your line 68, Yeah. So before the word track, say string. Right. And before the word player one speed, before the name, you say double, because it's double, isn't it? Right. And then double in front of player two speed also. No comma after double. No comma after double. Hey, Karthik, you got to really brush up on the syntax, okay? Because otherwise the midterm will catch you off guard. Because some places maybe which one is syntactically right and all, right? Maybe that's Peter's friend. They can't tell them apart. So they all. Okay. All right. Did you do that? Okay. Good. Now, what we need to do here is simply, I'm trying to picture it in my head. So what we want to do is, yeah, here's what we'll do. All right. So, so what we want to do is put player one. We'll say player one is basically the greater than sign. Okay. So we'll put the greater than sign. We'll put comment on top of this function. Okay. So on line 67, hit enter on line 67. Right. Open code. Now I will say using our 1D screen, No, one capital D, and then space screen, 1D screen, 1D, no, space screen, right? Show player one as a greater than sign, okay, within quotes, greater than, no, greater than sign within quotes, within quotes. Within greater than, not less than. Yeah, and player two, show player one as, yeah, all right, and player two as a less than sign. Right, starting at the opposite ends of track, starting at next line, go to the next line, because it's past that vertical line, right? Yeah, starting at the opposite ends of the track, right? Track, and then what else do we need to do? Yeah, gradually moving towards the star in the middle, according to their speeds. Yeah. Okay, now let's place player one and player two at the two ends of the track. All right, so here, so on line 72, yeah, you're going to say track square bracket 0, zero equals outside equals, no, all right, space outside, yeah, equals the greater than sign within single quotes. No, it's got to be single quotes. Yeah, single quotes. This is practice, okay? This is only practice. Only practice will get you to this. Because you may know what to do, but if you don't have practice, most of the time you'll waste time here. Okay, so these kinds of things. There's a semicolon at the end. Right, on the next line, you're going to say track square bracket track dot length -1. Track dot length -1. No, track dot length. No, track. No, track square bracket. Yeah. And then in here, you're going to say track dot length. Open close. Because length is a function, right? You got to remember, right? Length is a function in C++. Okay. And then outside of the parentheses, you say -1. Right. And then outside of the square bracket, you're going to say equals less than sign. All right, now put a semicolon. However, again, we're going to be defensive in our coding. So above line 72, right here, we're going to be defensive and say if track.length equals 0, again, it should be within parentheses, right? The if condition should be within parentheses. If track.length equals 0. No, again, it's a length is a function, isn't it? Length is a function. Open close parentheses after length. Yeah. equals double equals 0. Okay. You have to practice a lot, okay, because the quest will be very hard otherwise. Equals 0, just return. Because if the track length is 0, you're not going to put dummy characters in places that you don't even own. So if it's 0, you just return right there. Okay. So on the next line you say return. On the next line you say return. Indent in and say return. Indent in and say return. Yeah, return. Excellent. Semicolon after that. Hit an enter. Hit an enter. All right. So now what we'll do now is just see so far if we'll just print out the track and see if it has a star and then these two guys here. Okay, that's all we need to do. So what we need to do is on line 78, you say, I think we had a method called show track or show screen or something like that. Up further up where we have the screen methods. We have the screen methods up there. I'm going to clear 1D screen. No. Further up. Screen methods. Print 1D screen. Okay, that's what I was looking for. And what are the parameters? Yeah, you have to say print 1D screen. Right. So on the next line, not there in that method that we're just writing. The method that we're writing now. Yeah, you say print 1D screen. Print 1D screen. Underscore 1D screen. Open parentheses. You say track. And then semicolon. Semicolon. On the next line, you say C out endl because it'll just print the track and with the /r. You say C out endl. C out, left shift endl. Endl, semicolon. Right? Now let's run it and make sure that we actually see that. Okay, nothing else is going to happen. You're just going to see that. And yeah, hit whatever you want, right? And then, yeah. And yeah, enter. It doesn't matter. Oh, what's going on? We got a lot of Q's in there. I thought we stuffed in spaces. Didn't we put spaces in there? Why is it getting all Q's in there? Didn't we pad it with spaces? Did we pad? Did we append? Where is the place that we? Where is our track append? Yeah, track. We're appending a space. Why do we get a lot of Q's in there? On line 102, go to the end of line 101. Go to the end of line 101. Hit enter. You say see out track, and let's see what's in track. See out track, and let's see what's inside of it. By the way, it feels like Karthik and I are coding, and maybe one or two of you, like Erica, nodding your heads. But it feels like most of the class is not even in class, right? It's just the three of us doing something, and the rest of you are. But I want to make sure that everybody is on board. Okay, otherwise there's no point in doing these things. I can basically just do the traditional lecturing style, where you say, "Oh, these are the topics, and here's how you do these loops," and so on. It doesn't. In my opinion, that doesn't really help students as much as this, right? Because here you actually get to do these things. You have to exercise these concepts, and everybody has to be on board. It's just not the three of us coding. Yes or no? Raise your hand if you agree with that. Okay, all right, so everybody needs to be engaged. Okay, everybody needs to be engaged, saying something and asking questions, and that's the way we get to do these things well. Okay, all right, so let's do this. Yeah, all right. Well, I think Charlene just joined. Maybe she disappeared for a little bit. All right, you got to watch the video. All right, so and endl after the track, and let's see if the track actually has junk in it, because it looks like it has junk in it here, right? So endl, and then we'll run it, and we'll see. Yeah. Run it. How come it has all Q's in there? No, it has all. You don't have to do that. It's already saying it's got Q's. No, right after you entered the two names, why is it got all Q's in there? So track.append.
I put the space, like the character, as the second argument, and it worked properly. So maybe it's like.
Oh, the character's second argument, not the first one. Wow. Why the hell is okay? Go back to that page that you had before, that browser page. I thought it said, yeah, there. Character was the first. I thought, where's the append? Append string dot append. No, where's the append method?
I think it's right there.
There, the first one.
Or like the fifth one too, string append size tn, comma character. See? Yeah,
Oh,
like the fill.
All right, so let's do what Namrata is suggesting, okay?
Okay, right there in
Oh,
the
I
first one
see.
to fill. I think because they have different like
Oh, it is there. It is Phil. I see it now. I just saw what Namrata was saying, okay? It has to be the other way around, right? So the in our code, go back to our code. Yeah, do what Namrata said. Where's the append call? Where's the append call? There you go. I think the space needs to go after. To take the space comma there, the first parameter. The first parameter needs to be the second parameter, the second needs to be the first. You need to swap the two parameters. I can't hear you. Hey, Karthik, you're speaking. I can't hear you.
Wait, so which line would that be?
It's line 101.
No.
Right. The first, you got to swap the two parameters.
So
yeah, get rid of cut the first parameter. Cut the first parameter.
So just get rid of
including
that,
comma.
or?
You don't need a comma.
Okay.
There.
So we're gonna put it
Got
at the end of that like expression, like that argument.
Sorry, get rid of the space. Yeah, put the space there. And get rid of the space in front of t. Right? Is that okay, Namrata? Great. All right, let's run it now. Let's run it now. Okay, good. No, that's good. Go. Excellent. Okay, good. That is the desired behavior. So let's get rid of the cout that we stuck in there on line 102. Get rid of the cout on line 102. Triple click and delete. Yeah. Right. Get rid of the blank line also. Get rid of the blank line. That's why I said triple click. Right now, up we had the other in our function that we wrote. We wrote a function just now, right? Yeah. There you have cout. No. Show race happening further down. All right. So now print 1D screen. No, up in the function that we wrote. Yeah. All right. Get rid of line 78 because that and 78 and 79, they were just there for diagnostic, check intermediate check. Yes. So that's gone. So now what we need to do is on the next slide, hit enter. Now we will start a while. Put a comment there. Put a comment because in case we don't complete it, this is what the comment will tell you what you need to complete, and then you can put the code up, share the code. Oh my gosh, it's 10:09. Right, I'm just going to put the comment. We won't do it. Okay, I'm going to put the comment, but the comment will hopefully be self-explanatory. That's all you have to do to get the whole game completed, right? So once you implement that part, which is the to-do in the comments, you can add more stuff, more bells and whistles like Erica's idea and things like that. And you can post and share the code, okay? And not just share the code, you can play this game with other people in the STEM center, at home with your family, friends, and then take a screenshot. Take a screenshot, or maybe you can do a recording of the video of you guys playing the game, on an iPad or something like that, record screen, and you can post the video to YouTube and share the link. All right, it could be an unlisted video on YouTube, so nobody will know. But so you can make an unlisted video of two players playing the game, screen recording, and say, hey, we played the game. Here's a video link. Click it and we can see it. So that would be really cool. You can do all of that too. Right. So here's what we're going to do. So in the to-do, you say make a while loop. Make a in a loop. You just say don't make a in a loop. We print and then no colon. After we put colon and enter on the next line. Yeah, enter. Right now, number one dot. Right, we're going to do a few things inside the loop. One, right? Say space. Say the first thing we do is print the track. On the next line, number two, print the track on the next line. Number two, we want to say. Oh, we need to do a couple more things, okay? So above on line 77, right? On line 77, hit enter. Yeah, right. So we want to say player one position, right? So we say double player one position. No, double player one position. Double space player1 underscore pause, right? Underscore pause equals 0. Yes, because that is the player one's position, isn't it? Okay, player one. That's right. Now, semicolon, enter, and then say a player 2 pause, right? So double player 2 pause equals 0. In fact, you could do both of them on the same line. So you put them both on the same line. Double player 1 pause equals 0, comma player 2 pause equals 0. So we got the 2. However, you got to remember, when you place player 2 on the screen, it is not going at pause, but it is going at string the track length minus pause, because that player is coming from this side. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't know if it's all being, too messy, but it's pretty straightforward if you think about it. Yes. All right. So print the track, and now on the second on number 2 dot, right, on line 82, on line 82, print the track. Now we're going to change the positions of the 2 players, right? So how do we do that? So change the positions of the 2 players by what do we do? No, in fact, what we should do is, here's what we should do, right? So that we want to update the positions of the 2 players. I think update the positions of the 2 players. Update. No. We want to say, instead of change, no, update the positions of the 2 players. Update the positions of the 2 players. Right, according to their speeds, which players, yeah, speeds. The new positions on the next line. On the next line, you can say the new positions are the what we need is, should be integer type. Well, I won't say anything more. The new positions should be size t type, right? Because they're going to be indexes. They're going to be size t index. And then within parentheses, you can say it'll discard the fractional part. It'll discard the fractional part of the pause variables, right? Parts. Okay, all right. Now update the positions. Now, yeah, on the next line, you can say clear the screen, clear the 1D screen. Place the star in the middle. Place a star in the middle. Comma. After screen, you say comma. Place a star in the middle. And place the 2 players at their new positions. Yeah. Now on the next line, you can say print the new screen. Print the new screen. Right? Print, not print. Right? So you gotta. No, you don't have to erase everything. Okay. And then number 5 is basically print the new screen. Number 5, you're gonna say check if either player has reached the star. Right? On the next line, you're gonna say, no, star, which is really the middle index. Yeah, track.length minus 2. If divide by 2, you're going to check if the position is the same as 40 essentially, right? So whoever reaches 40 first is the winner, right? If not, sleep for a second and go back. If not, sleep for a second and repeat the loop. That's all. I think that's all you need to do. I think it is pretty straightforward. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. In my mind, I think that you guys should easily be able to do this. If you're not, we'll do it on Tuesday. But I think you should be able to do this. Just let me know. If not, we can also continue to do it later today. I mean, now, right? Assuming that you guys don't have to go. I'm guessing because, it's probably already in the middle of your next class, right? Because it's past 10. So you guys are still here. Well, I shouldn't take up some other professor's time, but certainly, right? We can complete it next Tuesday, if you guys don't complete it. But I think there's only, let me try and think. Right, it's probably at most 15 minutes of work. Okay, 15 minutes of work for you, without having to know all the stuff that we're going to do in week 6 and later. I'm just saying, just knowing what you've already learned from week 1 it won't take you more than 15 minutes. If you set your mind to it, right? If you're going to do this and, play Fortnite at the same time, it's not 15 minutes. So if you do this, set your mind to it and sit down and do it, I don't think it'll take you more than 15 minutes. So I'd like to see many, many versions of this game on the Reddit, preferably also a YouTube video link, okay? Unlisted YouTube video link, so showing 2 people play. That'd be really, really cool. And I would like to see more than one, okay? Not just Erica, Hannah, or Namrata. I need every one of you to play this game, fill it in, finish it, play it. Or if it's stuck and you got a bug, saying, hey, you can ask, saying, hey, I got this, but it's not working. One of us will help you. Yeah. And keep in mind that whatever you do here is going to be practice for your midterm also. Because as you can see, when Karthik was typing, he's sick also, but even if he was not sick, you can see, right, Karthik? There's certain places you were stuck and you were trying to think and all, yes? And saying what should be the right syntax and all, that is all of that should go away. All of that, because that'll go away only by practice. Even though you know what's going to come, you got to come automatically. Yes? So you got to practice, Karthik, okay? And all of you too, everybody else. Keep practicing, it's got to come automatically. And here's a good checkpoint for you. If you're able to do that in 15 minutes, I think the midterm will be easy. Okay, the midterm will be easy if you manage to be able to do that in 10 minutes. Meaning that you figure it out in your head first. That doesn't count in your timing, right? Figure out in your head what you're going to do, right? And then say, I'm going to start doing it 15 minutes. Okay, if you're able to do it in 15 minutes, good. You can even use a notebook and figure it out. That time also doesn't count. So you can do whatever you want without coding. And once you start coding, 15 minutes is what you can give yourself. Okay.
And for the midterm,
Erica, you have a question.
Yeah, in the midterm, do we have like a specific length of time, or like how does, I guess, the format?
Yeah, it's 1 hour. The midterm is 1 hour. Final is 2 hours. You can take it anytime you want during the day, but once you start, it's only, you can't say, I'm going to do 30 minutes now, I'll take a break and come back later. That's not allowed. Everybody okay? Good? Yeah. Omar, I sent email to Omar. He hasn't responded. I don't know. I hope he's good. Hopefully someone try and find out because he's missing some important classes here, very important classes. And it's past the date when you can drop and get the fees back also. So, so please someone reach out to him and find out. All right. I did nothing more. I was very optimistic. But it's hard to know exactly how long a project is going to take. Okay, so sometimes it takes longer, less time. So, but we're very close. I mean, if we had a bit more time, we could have wrapped it up. Thanks to Karthik. Okay, thanks Karthik for your patience. Very, very patient, and every little thing that I was saying, comma and everything. So that takes a lot of patience. Thank you so much. All right. And everybody should feel free and share the code. Share the code, Karthik, on the subreddit. That share link, that orange link. Share it so other people can pick it up and then they can work on it. I'm really hoping to see more versions of this game. I think it'll work. Okay, unfortunately we never got to play it. So, but I think it should work, and I think it should be a fun experience too. And maybe I'll play it. Okay, I'll play it maybe with one of my friends and see if if I cream them. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. Study for your midterm. Okay, concepts are very important, and use this code that Karthik wrote because it has all the elements. It has branching, it has ternary operators, it has looping, and looping practice, because you're going to be writing looping, right? So it has looping practice, branching practice, ternary operators, data representation, unsigned and signed, and what happens dividing by double and integer space division. Everything is there. Everything you need for the midterm is there in this code. Coincidentally, we didn't plan it like that, but it just turned out like that. So if you do this, if you read the modules and also work on this code and finish it up and understand every line of this code, I think there's only 125 lines or so max, right? We didn't write more than that. So probably 125 lines of code, not a great deal. And they're not big ass lines either. So I think you should be able to master all the material for the midterm, and you'll have a good showing in the midterm. I think, judging from the level of enthusiasm I'm seeing in your faces as you attend classes, right, and sticking around and trying to finish these programs and participating, I think you'll all be able to do really well in the midterm. It just needs focus and time, okay, and not being sick like Karthik. Okay, hopefully you'll take precautions until then. All right, so great. I'll see you all next Tuesday.
Can we
Otherwise,
share the
let
link
me just
to the code in the
Matt,
chat?
you have a question?
Yeah, can we share the link of the code in the chat?
Yeah, well, no, but if he does it, he'll forget to post it on Reddit.
Oh, there it is. I've got it. Thank you.
Right, but post it on Reddit too. Post it on Reddit too.
Also, for because I think there's a practice midterm thing too. Is that like a good?
Yeah,
like-
yeah, there is a practice midterm. I think it opened up already. Oh, maybe it'll open up next week.
Yeah, I think it opens.
It'll open up next week,
That's
a
a
couple
good
of days before the
presentation.
midterm.
Good
There's only
practice.
3 questions. There's only
Ah.
three to 4 questions, just to give you an idea of the format.
How long is the midterm? Like, question.
1 hour.
Like, is it like a ton of questions?
Oh, number of questions. I think there's 20 questions.
Okay. So, okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
hang on. Yeah, I think this is the question bank has tons of questions, and then you just have to fill in a number saying draw 20 questions from there. And in fact, you'll all get different questions, by the way, okay? Because it just picks random 20 questions from the bank. So when you have a question about the midterm and say, hey, when you post a question in Reddit saying, hey, classmates, what did you get for question number 7? I got this, right? But their question number 7 will be different. So the way to ask a question about midterms is to basically say, don't refer to question numbers, but you can actually copy the question from your midterm and say, hey, I got this question in the midterm and I answered 47.3. But what should the answer be? Why is it not 47.3? That's all. They're all good questions. Okay, you can feel free to discuss questions in the test on our Reddit, because I got so many questions now in the question bank. And every time after some of these classes, I get an idea based on what you guys are doing. I get an idea saying, hey, that would make a really good midterm question. Then I add one more question to the bank. So there's so many questions in there. I haven't added in quite a while now, but I think there are lots of questions. You may not get the same questions. Any other doubts, clarifications, issues? No? All right, okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Okay, basically just signal to me. It is a signal to me that you guys are actually interested in C++ and programming. Okay, because there are people, I know students who are not interested in programming, who are just there to pass a course and get something on the transcript and saying, okay, now I've cleared my prerequisite. They'll typically tend to go off at 10 a.m. or 9:50, right? But you guys are sticking around because you're interested in programming. So that's fantastic, fantastic. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.